Look at that. That's some high-energy music and/or graphics. Good morning. Live from the Dignity Health Studios. It's the Baco Motorsports Power Hour. I'm Louis Amestoy. With me, as always, I'm literally not. Louis is out on I'm going to say parole. I don't know what's going on. But it's brought to you by Budweiser, a sign factory in the Bakersfield, California, where we've been covering motorsports since the very beginning, since there's been motorsports. It says great show today, so you guys got a lot to live up to. It's right there.
There it is.
You guys see that?
I'm
All right.
sweating.
We've got Stephen. I'm just going to read this verbatim because I won't get in trouble that way. We've got Stephen Blakesley from Kern County Raceway Park.
Hello.
Blake, good morning. Blake Bowser from Auto Club Famoso Speedway. And
I'm
Scott
here.
Schweitzer from Bakersfield Speedway.
Hello.
Excellent. How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks.
This isn't my normal job. And
Good show so
the
far.
Griff is over there. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Much better that you're over there.
And with a little bit of distance. Always a good thing. I like all the different signage in here. It's kind of weird for me, but I'm liking it. We were talking about earlier. Obviously, the big thing going on right now is in the world of the NASCARs. We got this chase thing going on. I'm really pro. When I first heard about it, I didn't much like the idea, but now I kind of get it because it does build up a little bit of drama. We got that.
I think so, and
how Scott feels about it.
I think the new chase is Scott's old school,
I'm
but
old school. Yeah.
But this way you start with 16, and there's already a couple guys who are going to be gone after 4 races. You can tell you just can't have a big mulligan if you like Eric Amaral. He's 16th now, 47, 50 points out. No chance of him.
Yeah, but if you win at Loudon, you automatically.
Well, that's true. So you're right.
So you need Carl Edwards and those guys that if they don't win, they got no shot. So
Right.
they're not going to be out there going to the front.
Which certainly is for those guys sitting 12th on back.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to lose, basically, especially if they're sitting 12th on back after next week.
That's what NASCAR needed was some nothing to lose. And you always go through that thing where Jimmy Johnson or whatever. There's every week somebody gets mathematically eliminated. It sort of boils. You just have to. I don't know. You watch whoever you're rooting for. They kind of wither and go. Okay, well now they have no chance. Well now. I'm in the last week. There'll be 4 guys slugging it out for this deal. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
That might be pretty interesting.
We'll see if and my understand and Kevin Harvick finished 5th in this race. Didn't he switch pit crews with Tony Stewart?
Yes.
He did.
Because the boss, whoever's guy's got his name on the company, is going to have the best pit crew. So they swap him out in the first race. They leave not a wheel loose, a hub loose. That's I don't know about that, man. Oh well. But you got so Scott's the only one who's anti the chase.
Well, I'm not anti the chase. I'm just old school. I like it where they race all year long, and that's where they're at. I mean, you have that one bad race like Amarola have, and now.
But what do you do when like the 48 locks it up 2 weeks earlier or some deal, and then it's like not even a thing when you got somebody winning at the end of the race and the 48 car's doing donuts in the background?
I totally understand why they do it to add the excitement and all that. I'm just old school. I like the whole year long deal.
Yeah. It's. I imagine there's gonna anytime you change something that radically.
Yeah.
But we'll know after a couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what will kill this new chase format is if Earnhardt loses early. Yeah. People will be nope. Go back to the old way. This sucks. We hate it.
Or what if a guy that gets eliminated in the first round now crashes a guy in the second round just to get him out of the second round or something?
Does that happen anymore? That's the one thing NASCAR doesn't have anymore is nobody wrecks anybody anymore.
I mean, you gotta look at.
Not Danica, but that's not on purpose.
But I mean, you look
Then they
at.
apologize for
What
it,
about like Boyer and Gordon at Phoenix last year, and then
last year you have to go back to.
Well, no,
last
no.
year.
We're talking about for the Cup with the Cup on the line. And then a few years ago when Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick were getting into each other at Homestead, and that's what you want to see. Is you want to see it come down to the final.
The
race.
last Bristol race. Everybody finished with all the fenders on their car. That's not
Bristol.
That's not Bristol, right.
Yeah, everything
That's
should
right.
be upside down and on fire in a shower of sparks, and that's how Bristol's supposed to. And
That's
they
how you
don't
should
even,
win the race. The more damage you have, you're
Terry
Yeah,
Labonte
does-
style. Just go
Yeah, does
off.
anybody even remember what a bump and run is? Do we even have the concept anymore? I don't know. I try to watch these races now, and it's just it's too polite and it's too corporate and it's just too nice out there.
Well, we know why they did the countdown because football was kicking their butt on Sunday, and they had to have something to. And they've done it. Congratulations to them. They're keeping some of their ratings up. So good job.
Yeah, the other problem is I don't know if you've been watching. There's been some empty seats at these races, and that's not normal,
that's not
man.
good.
And then you got big money sponsors that are kind of running away from this. They need to, and that's what this is all about.
Right.
Maybe shore that stuff up a little bit.
Yep.
I wish them all the luck in the world. And so well, Griff, you know this is Harvick. You're going to say Harvick's going to win at New Hampshire, right?
No.
It's a pretty good track for him. Who's
Who
probably
knows
win
what's
again.
going to happen anymore? But I do know that looking at the standings, I think other than being able to win and stay in, the pretenders from the contenders got separated. As I don't think there's any surprise if you look at the top 8 who's there. Jimmy Johnson's 8th or something, and Earnhardt and Gordon and Harvick and everybody.
Yeah,
And
but
then you have the
that'll get
guys who got in, but I don't think are going to be a factor.
Does that change because I was kind of wondering, like, from a gambling standpoint, it's got a proper bracket now, like March Madness, and there's got to be people betting on this in Vegas and
Oh, there
stuff,
are.
right?
Absolutely.
Oh, without a doubt.
And how much of that is going to change every week? I mean, is it the whole thing going to
Well,
be?
yeah, I would imagine the Vegas odds change daily, but certainly every week the Vegas odds on who can win the championship are going to change, and obviously guys are going to get eliminated. But I think that would be fun to kind of follow the Vegas odds from where the chase started to headed into the final 4 races and see how
Yeah,
they
I haven't
change.
seen a line on it, but if people bet on everything that moves, why not bet on this? Seems like it'd be exciting. Who's like the favorite to be in the final 4?
Well, definitely Harvick. And
Keselowski's got to be up there.
Yeah, Keselowski, the 48, and maybe
All the Hendrick, come on.
Well, really the Hendricks and the Penske's. And it's a combination of who that's going to be, but really the Hendricks and the Penske's have been the top 2 teams all year. So
Can you even win in NASCAR without a Hendrick engine anymore?
unless, like I said, unless you're a Penske, because they were first and fourth.
I don't think so.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you look at the track, because we got Loudon's coming up, we got Dover coming up the week after that. I mean, you need you need a lot of horsepower at Dover, certainly.
Yes.
Well, let's see how it all plays out. I'm telling you right now, and I'm not rooting for anybody in this deal, but here's what NASCAR doesn't want is after all this new chase format and all this, and they change everything around, and then Jimmy Johnson wins
still
again.
wins.
Still could happen.
Mix it up, and the
Yeah.
48 still good. And you know what? That's if you had to put money on somebody, that's who you'd put your money on.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I tell you what, we will take a break. We'll be right back. We got a lot more stuff to do. We got highlights. Look at all this. We got a ton of stuff still to talk about. Look at that stuff. There's September. There, 400 miles at Dover. Oh, Harvick's going to win Dover, though. I'll tell you that. He'll finish in the top 3 at Dover. How bad is it how much would you have to screw up if you're one of the top guys right now? Let's say you blow up an engine on lap 1 or something, you end up finishing 43rd. If you've still got the wins, look at Carl Edwards. That guy's on the bubble. That guy's going to be done this weekend probably.
He needs a good run, and he probably needs to win.
I'm for that though. You need a bunch of people out there that have desperation all over that have to win or nothing.
But some of these guys with desperation, if they haven't won all year, are
That's
they
a
going to
good
pull
point.
one out now with everybody else? I mean, as well as you've got the Hendricks and the Harvick and the Penske guys running. It's just going to be tough.
What about those guys though? What if you're like one of the favorites? Do you have any incentive to try to put your car in the front? Because let's face it, the one way you're going to move up to next week for sure is to win the race.
Oh, without a doubt, I think all these guys were trying to win. I mean, you come
they're
down
not
to the last
laying
40.
back, but let's face it, 48's not going to risk spinning out and losing the race if he's in second or third. These guys are locked in. I mean, at least for now. Those guys are going to be doing everything they can, but Carl Edwards is going to have to move you out of the way if you're between him and the finish line. Not that he wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I like this, because it gins up some drama, which without this format we may not have had. Then again, sometimes who will forget that deal with Tony Stewart driving that absolutely perfect race with Carl Edwards on his bumper for like 1,000,000 laps. That was pretty cool, but it never happens. It was a rarity. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. You are listening and watching the dang old Baco Motorsports Power Hour. It's pretty sweet. Come back. We got plenty more to go. We'll be right back.